Marine Le Pen wants to give France's far-right Front National a new face to change how it is seen in the eyes of the broad public. The 42-year-old new Front National president is the youngest daughter of party founder Jean-Marie Le Pen. Some forecast that the party will attract 18% of the vote in their country's presidential election in 2012. In Strasbourg, Marine Le Pen tells Cecilia Caccioto about her goal to become president of France.
Marine Le Pen, après 40 années de leadership,
after your father's 40 years as leader, you've succeeded him at the head of the Front National, announcing changes. How will you put distance between yourself and your father's policies?
La distance par rapport à la politique faite par votre père.
I'm not going to distance myself because I'm proud of my father's accomplishments. He created in France a party which defends the nation, the sole movement to do so among all the globalist parties dominating the political class, and he's managed to make it endure. But I believe we are entering a new chapter in the story of the Front National, a chapter I call the eye-openers and builders. With many others, my father raised awareness of a whole series of problems which are hitting France with full force. We want to be builders, which is to say, open this chapter of the Front National which will carry us to power. That is what we want to do, our battle plan, to be able to apply our ideas, to access power and apply our ideas.
How? You're quite clearly, if I understand it well, referring to the 2012 elections, in which you're forecast with 18% of the votes. How will you raise that percentage?
Firstly, we have a job to do in planting the Front National locally, and then we have to multiply openings in what the Front National says. You know, for a long time the Front National was closed off by the press and the political class to all but security and immigration problems, whereas we have a much broader programme than that. My role was to raise visibility for the Front National's economic and social programme, which, it's true, was little known, but also its ecological programme and the image we have of the state, of the role of the state in France.
Is France ready to have a woman president?
Oh, yes. I believe there's absolutely no problem with that. And if Ségolène Royal was not elected, in reality it was more due to her personality than her being a woman.
Europe doesn't interest you much. I'll quote you.
No, I never said that. I never said that. On the contrary, it is of interest because I fight it with all my strength. In any case, the European Union, not Europe. Europe is a civilization, it's a territory. I am European. But the European Union is a structure I consider as totalitarian. It's the European Soviet Union. Yes. Yes. The more it moves forward, the more it builds itself without the people, and even against the people. The more it imposes directives on us. We don't see well what it brings us, it must be said, apart from ruining our economy, restricting our budget plans, restricting our monetary plans, and imposing on us a model of living which is not our own.
If you're elected president, will you take France out of Europe?
I believe the European Union is dead. The light it's giving off is that of a dead star. It believes it's alive, but it's already dead. Because its money, which it made, and around which it created itself, is itself dead. Today we're trying to save the euro at all costs. But what is the cost? I don't want my people to be obliged, like the Irish, to lower the minimum income by 12%, to lower family allowances, to lower unemployment benefits, to impoverish public service workers. If that's the price we must pay to save the euro, well, I say it's better to get out of Europe and better to leave the euro.
So what future do you see for Europe?
I believe it must all be rebuilt. I think that Europe can live if it's constituted around the concept of a Europe of nations, which respects national sovereignty. It's a Europe of cooperation, the only concept, objectively, which yields good results.
Last October in Vienna, several parties parties of the extreme right gathered. Among them, Italy's Lega Nord and Austria's FPO. And they decided to launch a campaign promoting a referendum on Turkey joining the European Union. You weren't there. Were you not invited, or is your position about this joining different?
No, not at all. You know, we in the Front National were in full internal competition. We were waiting to see who was going to be elected president in order to be able to make the necessary contact. I believe we have to have contacts between a certain number of European parties, and I am quite ready to participate in organising this referendum in France on Turkey's entry. I am against Turkish entry.
Did the events in Tunisia and Egypt surprise you?
No, not so much, because I believe in reality that true democratic revolutions are revolutions of hunger. I think the international monetary system and bad decisions taken by international organisations, such as the IMF and the WTO, led to massive price rises for essential products, notably food. Two things worry me. The first is the beneficiaries of these revolutions, these democratic aspirations, which I support, but which benefit the ambitions of Muslim fundamentalist political parties to take power in these countries. That is worrying. To deny that, in my opinion, is absurd. The second worry is massive migration.
In spite of being elected to head the Front National, in spite of what is expected of you, you remain the daughter of Jean-Marie Le Pen. Your father's never embarrassed you?
You know, in the history of a movement, you take everything, because it's too easy just to take the good things and reject what can be maddening or things that don't work as well as other things. I take the whole history of my movement. I do not allow myself, because I find it's not honourable, to sort out what was good and what wasn't so good. I also try to learn lessons from the past, errors even. I draw experience from the beautiful and great things that the Front National has managed to do. One party alone against all the rest, after all, with very little funding compared to the others, which fought under difficult conditions. But I believe I can tell you today, we were never wrong.
Merci Marie Le Pen pour avoir répondu à nos questions.
Je vous en prie.